course, is a friend of ours, Congresswoman Ann Wagner, at Rep. Ann Wagner. How are you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Jamie. It's I'm jubilant. It's great. And hey, I listened earlier, and you said you needed less negativity in your life, Jamie. And I am the gal for you to talk to today.
That was just that was just a minor dust up there, but yeah. By the way, do you know? Is he new, Congressman Marshall, or did you?
He is. He's from Kansas. He's a nice man. I mean, grounding my kid would have been the least of what I would have done. I watched the video last night. My staff also had to explain it to me like 6 times as to what dabbing was. But he's either going to be, shunned by his classmates or be like the cool kid now. We're not sure which. So.
Well, and by the way, speaking of kids, we are really pleased and happy, and it's been fun having Mary Ruth here with us. Aww. Your daughter, Mary Ruth, working with us on occasion here at the show. So that's pretty cool.
My only question is, has she been getting there on time? I know she set this alarm at like 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
She has been.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely. She's been fantastic.
Doing great.
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell her to clean her room. Since I'm here in D.C., I can't watch her. So tell her to get on that when she gets back, okay?
We sure will. All right, couple things. On a more serious note, this Lacey Clay, this painting up there, I'm sure by now you've heard about this contest painting that seemingly depicts a policeman as a pig and aiming guns at people, and it just was so distasteful. But do you have anything any pull with that, or is it?
It's absolutely offensive and a slap in the face to our law enforcement, and you know how strongly I stand with our men and women in blue, and I would never have chosen it, and I think it has no place in the halls of Congress. So it's terribly offensive and wrong. This congressional art competition is a really cool thing for kids in the district, and we take it seriously and have lots of submissions. But anything distasteful and horrifically offensive like this would be rejected by my office, at least.
So how does that work then? Does he he can put it up in a hallway? Or I don't understand
You choose one. The first place winner gets to hang in the halls of Congress. The second place winner hangs, I believe, the district office, and then the third place actually would hang in the member of Congress's office. And we have 3 lovely pieces of art by young people and high schoolers in the district. Our art competition has a lot of folks and kids that put in their pieces of art and work, and I have a panel of judges that choose them, but we absolutely have discretion, and every office should, to reject distasteful and offensive pieces of art, and to go after our men and women in blue and portray them in that way is offensive. Is about the least thing I can say.
Well, apparently he's not budging on it, so oh well. Hey, yesterday too, we had a situation where Donald Trump had tweeted out regarding the ethics movement there in Congress, and there were some folks who were ready to kind of shelve it, and he stopped that. What was your take on how that all went down?
I was outraged, absolutely outraged. I have consistently voted against lowering congressional ethics standards, and withdrawing this amendment was the right thing to do. And I want to tell you, I was on the phone with leadership saying, I do not support this amendment. We've got to go back into conference. While I was on, I won't name the member of leadership I was on the phone with, but at the time, the Trump tweet came down, and I said, hallelujah, there you go. This is... We were sent here by the American people to do real serious things and real serious priorities, the people's priorities, that have everything to doing with repealing Obamacare to reforming our tax code, getting our economy moving. And to start out like this, it would have been reprehensible. And I was against weakening the Office of Congressional Ethics, and I voted at least 3 times in previous Congresses to not to do that, and I stood firmly against the amendment and the weakening of the oversight process. It's wrong.
How are things going to go down once we hit the first 100 days? And what are you all prepared to do, hitting the ground running? And are you ready to rock with the lowering of taxes, rollback of regulations, and ultimate dismantling of Obamacare?
You bet. In fact, I'll be heading, as soon as I finish up with you and your listeners, over to our conference. Governor Pence, or I should say Vice President-elect Pence, is there waiting for us. I have been working with the Trump transition team. It's been a joy during the lame duck on mainly areas that are in my portfolio, the financial services sector,
right,
and actually on pro-life issues as a strong member of the pro-life caucus, too. So working with the transition has been a very positive experience, and we're going to talk about one of the first things we're going to tackle, which is getting a budget, and then that balances, and then going after Obamacare. I mean, 80% of Americans want some sort of major change, and we are going to hold true to our promises to repeal that law and put forward a positive replacement. Over time, we're going to have a stable transition here, so no one should be fearful of that, but we're going to broaden health care access. We're going to make it much more affordable and improve the quality of care available to all Americans. I have great faith in my good friend, Congressman and Dr. Tom Price from Georgia, who is now going to be the HHS Secretary when nominated or when actually gone through confirmation. And I'm excited. I'm excited to hit the ground running on that. This week, we're actually passing legislation. I'll be speaking on the floor this morning on the REINS Act, which means that any executive branch rule or regulation that unelected bureaucrats pass and promulgate that has an economic impact of about $100 million or more has got to come back before Congress, we the people, for an up or down vote before being enacted. So the REINS Act is something I voted for in the last two Congresses. I'm thrilled that I believe it's going to be signed into law by President Trump. And we're going to pass the Midnight Relief Rules Act here that's going to stop this president from basically in the 11th hour here passing a whole lot of different executive orders that will, as the lights are being turned off and he's heading out the door. So we're going to stop him from doing that. We're going to pass the REINS Act. So we're going after reg reform this week. We're having a good conversation about repealing Obamacare today, and we're hitting the ground running. It's a new day. People are positive and hopeful. We're a strong, unified Republican government, and already, Pence has been here to speak with us at least twice, and I know that President-elect Trump has been here also to sit down with leadership as we move our agenda forward.
Well, in the short time that we have, I want to get you back on ultimately regarding financial services and regarding Dodd-Frank and regarding community banking, which is something that Donald Trump brought up during the campaign, which I'm sure that's your wheelhouse, and I'll get you back on at some point to talk about that. And I'll see you up there at the inauguration. I'm going to be up there with Aiden.
Great.
So I'll pop in, or we'll try to hook up at some point up in D.C.
We're taking care of so many grassroots constituents that are wanting to come up for this historic event, and we're thrilled to do that. It's going to be a tremendous celebration. But I can tell you, if you want less negativity in your life, come on up here to Washington, D.C. Things are hopeful and promising, and we have to deliver results for the American people, and that's what I'm focused on and very excited to get to work.
Well, I'll tell you, just for you then, since you added that bit of positivity, and it's still the 11th day of Christmas.
It's the most wonderful time in
My favorite
year.
song.
I mean, so we're ready to rock. Ann Wagner, thank you for your continued support of law enforcement and for our military, and thank you for loaning us Mary Ruth for a little while, and we'll look forward to seeing you up in D.C., but we'll get you back on about the financial services bit, but we'll have some time for that at some point down the line.
Wonderful. All right, pat my kid on the head and tell her to clean her room.
Okay, and a very happy New Year to you.
And to you, too, Jamie, and all your listeners.
You, too. Congratulations. At Rep. Ann Wagner is where you can find her on Twitter. It's Common Sense Radio.